Previously on Pulsing and Gators Reviews, we watched episode 7.
That's right, WandaVision fans. We are back. The latest and greatest, episode number 8. Looking forward to it. Before we do that, let's roll an intro.
All right, before we get going on episode 8, I have a challenge for you. I bet you can't hit that like button.
And I also double down on that. You cannot push the subscribe button or ring the notification bell.
Are we getting some backstory here?
Maybe.
Yep, we are.
Nice. That's great.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You're going to burn her at the stake?
Yeah. She's a witch. She's like sucking her power.
I was going to say, she's like harvesting their souls or something?
Yeah, it seems like that, right?
Ooh.
Okay.
You've seen better days.
Yeah. Pietro. Oh, it just seems like she's like trying to like show her some spells, you know? So she is a fan of it.
That's how they were taught English.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll wake you up.
Oh, so it was actually real. That something happened. That's how her parents got killed, maybe.
Okay, yeah. Wasn't these like Stark Industries like stuff that went over there? Remember she was mad at someone? I can't remember.
I thought so. I think they blamed him for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
Is that Loki's scepter?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, it is, yeah. Put the Tesseract in it, right? Oh, no, sorry, it's the Mind Stone. Right? Yeah, it's Vision's Mind Stone.
I thought the Mind Stone was yellow.
Remember they broke it open to get it out? Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Welcome in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I never watched the show, so.
It was funny. Grinding him down?
Oh. Is that her neighbor?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that a goofy guy?
Yeah.
Kitty.
Kitty. Yeah.
Place for sale or empty house?
Maybe. Well, maybe this is where, like, her and Vision were going to build a house or something.
Yeah. So this is where they were supposed to get their life together.
Yeah. Oh, this is where she obviously snaps, right? Okay.
Oh, well, she's sparking up.
Yeah.
Oh, she's building a house.
And red.
So she...
Animating him from herself. Okay.
How does she stole his body through magic?
Well, maybe. Because she's also part of the Mind Stone too, right? Obviously, we see that now.
Yeah, but how did she
So is he.
take his body, technically? Because she didn't physically take his body. She...
Yeah.
So how the hell did they know that she took it? The hell? The set?
Yeah.
Some weird shenanigans going on here.
Oh, yeah.
That makes you the Scarlet Witch.
Okay. That's interesting. What does he got planned?
Shit's about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
The real Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Or a copy.
Maybe. Well, about them apples. Episode 8 in the books. What is your initial reaction?
Well, we got filled in on the backstory, so we know where everything is going. They started off with Agatha's backstory a little bit, and I didn't know they were going to go there. I didn't think they were going to go there, but that was good.
Yeah.
Learned a little bit about her past and where she came from.
Yeah.
And then she took Wanda back on a little trip.
Yeah. What I think is I liked about that opening is we talked about it. We talked about her being a Salem witch and giving us that little confirmation. Yeah, 1693 backstory, and she's obviously super powerful. And where she got her powers from, I don't know whether they manifested from somebody else to enhance
Well, obviously
herself.
she was kind of a witch family,
Yeah, or covenant, whatever.
but she was practicing witchcraft that she wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
But that kind of makes sense for this whole series now that they're leading into the Scarlet Witch itself, which we found out at the end of the episode.
Yeah, like if we jump right into that, I mean, I've been waiting for that. I mean,
yeah, I didn't know where they were going with this, and it should have been. Now that we see it, it's obvious. It was just like, okay, that makes sense. Because when she was looking at the Mind Stone,
yeah,
and you could see kind of the outline of the Scarlet Witch outfit and stuff floating towards the camera there, and it was weird. Like we were watching there, and what they had seen on camera was just an instant. She just was watching it, and she was boom, she was on the ground. They didn't see everything that happened.
So I think what's good about this scenario is Scarlet Witch, Wanda in the comics is a mutant, right? So she got her powers from just being a mutant, daughter of Magneto. And I think what about this is how they've set up to show how her powers, because we've only got the glimpse at Age of Ultron, right? We got they were experimented on, but actually they really weren't. So what we got from that was Wanda got her powers, or whether the Mind Stone chose her as that Scarlet Witch, right? That because what Agatha had said was, "Hey, you are kind of a myth, and you're not supposed to exist, basically."
But she does.
But she does. So that's cool.
So, and you just brought up that she in the comics was Magneto's daughter, and we kind of briefly touched on that. Like that wasn't Magneto being her father there in Sokovia. No. But are they going to reveal that he's really her father, or are they going to go a different route here?
I got a feeling it's going to be a different route. I mean,
or is that going to be part of this new multiverse?
Well,
and things get twisted and messed
up.
You're
right. There's a possibility, right?
Like you think like you said, there's mutants. She's a mutant. There's mutants coming, and this is maybe their way of introducing everything and tying it all in together.
I wonder if they're going to be called mutants though. Like, are they going to? Because they've always called them enhanced. Like in this, where they said, "Oh, there's an enhance." Remember,
but that was before they purchased.
Yeah.
Fox. I don't think they were allowed to before.
No, they weren't. But
so I think they will call them mutants.
Maybe
it's part of the legend in the comics. I'm sure they'll start calling them mutants. Especially when the X-Men are on board, they'll start calling them mutants. I'm sure of it.
I mean, you could realistically, if you leave Wanda out of the mutant scenario, that's fine. I mean, she's a you can make her a standalone character like that.
Absolutely. But I do think that this is one way that they're introducing these new characters, because they're going to want to expand into these new franchises right away. So it makes sense that they would start calling her a mutant, and all these other mutants with power start showing up.
But if they don't, so think of it this way: the thing with Wanda and Vision, they've always been part of the Avengers. That's always been kind of one of the things. They really haven't. I mean, I think they did some crossover stuff with the X-Men, if I recall, being part of the team and stuff, but they were all basically Avengers. So they were never really, even though they're mutants, it's like they were outsider mutants. That's what it seemed like a lot of times. So I like how they've done this. I mean, I'm a big fan of this. Hey, this is our introduction to Scarlet Witch, and she's not a mutant. She's a mythical type witch that shouldn't exist, as Agatha has said.
I think they'll keep it separate still, but I think it's just their way of introducing mutant characters and calling them mutants. Sure. I don't think she'll be part of the X-Men. I think that it's just their way of labeling these characters.
Yeah. So thinking about we mentioned about Agatha, thoughts of good or bad?
All along I was kind of like, I don't know if she's helping her or if she's trying to use her. And even this episode, we were going along there thinking that, okay, she's trying to get her powers or figure out how she got her powers so she could become this person. But she was just trying to figure out if she was a Scarlet Witch or not.
Yeah.
And I think she's trying to help her or help somebody. I don't necessarily think she's all that bad, but I don't think she's all that good either. I think she's just trying to make sure that Wanda doesn't get out of control.
Yeah, and I think we see little glimpses of that basically when she's like simple spells, right? When she was doing little simple spells, this is how you do this. And basically thinking like, why don't you know how, she's like, why don't you know how to do this? Because you're not actually a born witch. You're a mythical witch, like, right? So I think that's where they're going with that. And I think Agatha, because of the comic lore, she's always helped Wanda, helped her learn magic, like how to do magic. And I think that's exactly where they're going. She's not necessarily dark. She is dark, but I don't think she.
So
I think she's helping.
So you think she's going to help her
Yeah.
gain control
Yeah.
and learn how to control her power?
Exactly. Because I would think she realizes how powerful Wanda is, right? If she's that creature or that mythos.
If she gets out of control with
Yeah.
that much power.
Yeah. So I think Agatha's thinking better to have her as an ally versus like having to deal with her. I think that's what it is. And I mean, maybe there's some slight manipulation in there, but I think mostly, I think it's, yeah, I think there's something else.
I think there's still more behind it. I think there's
Yeah.
somebody else still behind it.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about in the past about the children and stuff too. That was all involved in Mephisto.
Mhm.
I think that we're still going to see something like that yet.
There has to be.
There's supposed to be one big reveal yet, whether that's him or
Mhm.
one of the new characters coming into the MCU in terms of
Mhm.
like Reed Richards or maybe it is just Doctor Strange or who maybe
Yeah.
it'll be one of those type of people coming in. But I think there's going to be somebody else behind Agatha helping her or guiding her as well.
You think so?
100%.
I feel like I'm changing my tune on this. Like, I mean, I know we were saying that before, but I feel like I just, after this episode, I could be completely wrong.
I just don't think they're going to stray that far away from the material. The kids
I
are
don't
still going
know.
to be tied into him.
Maybe. And that's possible.
But that's the only reason I'm thinking that. Is it 'cause
Yeah, okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
they'll stray that far away. They'll somehow tie him in,
Mhm.
and maybe he'll
Yeah.
be part of this phase 4 coming
Yeah.
up or something. I
And
don't-
that definitely could be it.
but maybe, like you said, maybe it's not that. Like it doesn't feel like it. It feels
No.
like that Agatha is solely in control there.
Because what did she say at the end there? She said, "What about her children? What about your children?" And then they cut it right there, right? So maybe there's something. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe that's where they're the soul of Mephisto. You know what I mean? And she's like, they're actually not your children. Maybe that Agatha breaks it to her.
Maybe it's just and it's
That could
it's
be
his way of
right there.
manipulating her as well.
Yeah. So if that's a good thought because if Agatha is maybe Agatha's trying to warn her and say these actually aren't your children. This is Mephisto behind this. Maybe that she's got to teach.
Because we
maybe
still
that's
haven't
it.
seen Ralph, and there's a Ralph, and there's going to be a Ralph. There's got to be something.
Hmm.
There has to be something there.
Yeah, I mean that actually makes sense.
There's too many breadcrumbs to not have something at the end.
There has to be. Yeah.
You would think.
So if I'm theorizing right now, and I'm thinking where this might go, it's the children, the fractures of Mephisto's soul, like the comics, something along that lines. He has the children or created the children for needing Scarlet Witch's power to like create them of some sort, maybe along that lines, and that's what he's looking for. And so maybe Agatha's helping her at the point, helping him at that time, but then she realizes that I don't know, something like that. I'm just kind of theorizing along that lines that he's there, but maybe Agatha realizes that Scarlet Witch is more of an ally than someone to be feared. You know, like maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're all over the place here.
Well,
but
but you know, they never really truly follow the comic lore.
no,
So they just
Well,
use
they
bits
do,
and-
but
they do
yeah.
it to a degree.
Yeah.
They use it as backstory and they use bits and pieces. That's why I'm saying there's probably still going to be somebody else
Mhm.
in there, but they do make their own take on it.
yeah,
So who knows which direction they're going? They're going to want it so you don't know what's happening, and we don't really.
well, no, and
And I like that.
We're theorizing that maybe Wanda was the monster of the whole show, but I don't think she is.
Well, I wasn't really completely sold that she was. I didn't think she was.
No,
I
I don't
thought
think
there was
she
something
is.
behind it. I think there's still something behind all of this. I
Yeah.
think there's still a bigger reveal.
Maybe hold on here. Let's think about that. So when she blasted, remember she had her little meltdown there,
Mhm.
and she blasted through. Maybe that opened like a weirdo portal for Mephisto, and he saw it and he rolled in, and now he's helping.
When she did that to Westview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it.
Who knows what she really did there? She might have opened up some of the ripples to the other.
Yeah.
parallel dimensions.
Because I mean, if you're thinking color schemes, he's red based as well.
Okay.
You're right. So and she's red. So I mean, what if he amplified that and helped her? Like, you know what if he's helping? Yeah, maybe he manipulated.
Maybe he pushed for it,
and maybe he manipulated Scarlet Witch, and Agatha is here trying to pull her back. That's an interesting thought. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Last thing. Vision at the end.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Is that Vision or is that a reproduction of Vision? Did they get enough on the schematics and create a new Vision? It seems like they built a new Vision.
He looked a little bit different, right?
Well, obviously he looked
translucent looking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they said that this weapon ready. They'd be checking to see if the weapon is ready. I was sure that they were breaking him apart to see how he was built so they could reproduce it.
And that makes sense.
And I think it's a reproduction because they kept looking for his body.
Yeah.
So did she actually steal his body? Did she take it in there? If so, then that is a reproduction.
I don't think she did though. By looking at her.
Well, I know it was just.
Like it.
But when things broke down in previous episodes, when she seen him and he looked like he was dead, was that him or was that just her losing it for a second, or was that Agatha manipulating her?
That's possible. Yeah,
like it's so many different ways it could be, and
so think about this. Hayward there, right? He manipulates the vision structure, gets that, puts it together, and he needed a source to animate him, right? So Wanda's obviously a creation or of the Mind Stone, visions of the Mind Stone. So that makes sense that powered drone used the power from her, which is Mind Stone based, to reanimate him. So that kind of makes sense, but. Is it him?
And is Hayward really on Sword's side? Like, is he on the up and up? Still, I'm not sure about him yet.
I don't think so. I don't think he is.
I think there's still something there to be.
So if he, wouldn't that be interesting if that was actually Ultron though? If he was Ultron,
it does not. Something doesn't feel right, and I somehow feel like Ultron could still be involved in this somehow, which is weird because he's supposed to be gone, but. In the comics, they brought him back
because he so if he wants to reanimate Vision and then put his mind into Vision,
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that is Ultron.
Well, that would be something, hey?
That'd be a neat twist having that as Ultron, and maybe that's the big reveal.
Oh, maybe, and then
maybe that's Ultron.
We need James Spader's voice back though.
Maybe he'll be there. We'll find out next episode.
Oh yeah, that's a great theory because that could be something.
That would be a good twist. That'd be a good finish.
Yeah, I would like that actually. Yeah, if they did that. So if they went through, so Vision, Ultron, so many ways.
It would tie everything back together.
Yeah, and then that's the baddie for this. That's a mini arc battle against Ultron. Yeah.
Would that be for this whole arc with the multiverse, or would that just be for this show?
Well, for the show, and then like,
or would they end with him? Would they just
leave it at
one
that?
and done, and have maybe it would be Vision and Wanda facing off against him, and that'll be the final episode.
Maybe,
and maybe just
just
advancing Wanda's character and her powers is the purpose of this show for this phase.
Yeah. Introducing Agatha, who you can pop her into shows with magic or helping Wanda, things like that. Yeah, very possible. And if, like we had talked before off camera about possibility that you're saying you think Falcon Winter Soldier is definitely tied into all of this somehow too. And if you have a base character like Ultron, it would make sense. Right, so you have him, and then those guys get involved. It would kind of make sense.
Yeah. Now, the more that you think about it, all these characters are kind of tied into that.
Yeah. So I mean that kind of and maybe I don't know. Everybody's theorizing Mephisto, but maybe he's actually not. Maybe it's just this opens the door for more magic stuff. So when you get to Doctor Strange, and we already said Wanda's going to be in that show, and maybe it's Doctor Strange recruiting Wanda to help him defeat Mephisto, because that's at the point. I don't know. It's so many ways you can go. I love it. It's great. The MCU, man, they just keep making us guess.
This is just the first piece of the big puzzle coming for this whole phase. So,
yeah.
Who knows what they're gonna do?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up another spellbinding episode. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the show as much as we did. Looking forward to the season finale next week.
Join us this Tuesday for our live feed where we'll have some fun discussing and speculating what's going to happen in the big finale. Until then, it's Pulsing Gator signing off.